Hello there. This is Cosmosis Cast bringing another dance break to you today. And I am feeling inspired to talk about something that has been a recurring pattern in my life and something that I have had trouble navigating and feeling positive about because it feels like, I don't know, it feels like the world is, if I guess, in some way. Um, so essentially, because I have had two babies, um, I probably have things stretched out a little bit more in my belly, and I have a little excess skin. And I don't know. Let's see. I'm just gonna show you guys why people tend to make the misconception or the mistake of thinking that I am pregnant, thinking I look pregnant. And I guess I do. I don't know. But so this is my belly. I don't know. In the camera's eyes, I don't think it should look so much like I'm pregnant. But yeah. Basically, it sticks out a little bit. And maybe, it sticks out even more because I don't have my breasts don't stick out that much. So it catches people's eyes anyway. And people, it is often like, I don't know, like once a month or once every couple of months that I will have somebody ask me if I'm pregnant. And they're usually virtual strangers. Virtual strangers asking me if I'm pregnant. That's a pretty personal question, first of all. Second of all, uh, and the interesting thing is that a lot of these people are actually older women, and I would think that older women would get why this wouldn't be an appropriate question to ask. But I'm just going to clarify why it's not today. So, for many reasons, for me personally, both times I got pregnant, I was not happy to be pregnant. I had a lot of emotional turmoil to work out before I felt an acceptance about it. And so, and while I'm working out that emotional turmoil, I am not trying to announce it to the world. I'm not trying to talk about it with others. And I certainly am not trying to talk about it with strangers. It is not something that is obviously something to celebrate. Um, you know, it's not always like, yay. And I think a lot of women feel that way about pregnancy, that it is a tumultuous signifier of change, and potentially like life's about to get a lot more difficult. Um, so, and then there's always like, some women are like, maybe considering the option of not having it, right? So, and then there is, maybe a woman is just bloated, and maybe she's in my situation and she's not bloated and she's just living her life and she just happens to have a belly that sticks out. But maybe she is sexually active, and maybe she's had unprotected sex, and maybe you just seeded an idea that maybe she is pregnant, you know? Maybe you just seeded some serious worry in her mind. Um, and maybe it's totally unnecessary. For me personally, I don't have to get too worried about it because I'm not active right now. But I can absolutely see how, like, if I was, and you just said that, like, I might be going, I mean, I did just have my period, but anything's possible, you know? So yeah, it's something that can be potentially, you asking that question as an outsider is not only triggering um, questions, but you're announcing it where it's actually my right to announce if I'm pregnant or not. It's my right to decide whether I'm going to engage and talk to you about something that is so personal. Um, so I'm just sharing that. I had a woman, like, I feel like everybody means well when they ask. They're just curious, but I don't think that it is your right as a curious person to go ahead and try to extract that information. I feel like it's almost like walking up to a virtual stranger and asking, like, "Hey, so are you straight? Are you gay? Or do you have bisexual leanings? Pansexual? What are you?" Yeah, like is it your right to ask such a personal question to somebody that you hardly know? Just, think about that. And then there's also, like, for me, there has been a level of body shame to come with this, that, oh my gosh, if I wear something that's slightly tight or whatever, I like to wear tight clothes. Um, it's like I'm announcing to the world that I'm pregnant when I'm not. I don't know. Because of that little pot belly that I just have, no matter what. And I don't know. I mean, doesn't every woman feel like if somebody asks you if you're pregnant and you're not pregnant, like, oh my god, that must mean like I'm kind of like gross, like, ooh, big bellied. Like we're not supposed to be big bellied, right? We're supposed to be like nice and sleek. Um, I think if I had a little extra weight on me, that wouldn't be a question, right? It's very interesting um, when women have a little bit of extra overall weight and they have a belly. People would be less inclined to ask, right? I assume. I think that's like probably correct. But yeah, so I think maybe people don't realize what kind of um, havoc and turmoil that you can create for a person by asking such a personal question. Um, so yeah, I'm getting to a place honestly where I'm just it's like a joke to me. It's just like awesome, nailed it. Here we go again. Let's see if I can get two people to ask today. All right. So, but yeah, um, I'm coming to this place where, like, I don't care. I'm gonna wear my tight clothes. I'm gonna show my belly off regularly, and I'm gonna show that, like, yeah, it's not the perfect belly anymore. It is a little bit of a pot, and it does have stretch marks, and it does have saggy skin. And you know what? That's just part of this life. Like I am really learning to radically embrace my body and all its imperfections as just part of my story. This is just the isness of this moment. So with that said, I want to invite you today to recognize any parts of your body that maybe you haven't been in full acceptance of, that you have felt like this just isn't okay. Like I've got some extra flab here and there, and I can't love this. It needs to go away. On For whatever reason, it's here today. I think the nicest thing that we can do for ourselves and our body is just to allow it to be part of our story today. Like, how can we just like completely embrace it? How can we, like, look at the scars and, you know, caress them instead of looking at them like with like just way too close in the mirror, just being like, oh my god, these wrinkles, can this just go away? Ooh. um how can we just be softer and more like, this is me, this is part of my story. So I don't usually come in with a particular song, but today I am. And the song is called Show Yourself by Ayla Nerio. I'm probably like botching her name, but yeah. So join me for a dance that is really about embracing every bit of imperfection that makes us who we are today. So here we go. All right, I'll start it over. Maybe we'll just go with it.
New life is sparkling. I peek out from patterns. Eyes peel back the lanterns. The surface is one. It's a delicate thrashing. This undertow daunting. The task is at hand, and not a moment too soon. When doubled and breaking, all wide-eyed likeness, your servant in highness, the earth in one being, your body, the queen. I do not show the skin for you. I show myself to know myself. I show for the earth in which I came. My prayers for you to do the same. I do not show the skin for you. Show myself to know myself. Show for the earth from which I came. My prayers for you to do the same. Read. Take all we've got, we'll spread it like comfort. We'll out all the insides and down all the corners, and then doubled and breaking, all wide-eyed and crazy. You whisper sweet something to the one you are saving. Your mirror and likeness, your servant in highness, the earth in one being, your body, the queen, your mirror and likeness, your servant in highness, the earth in one being, your body, the queen. I do not show the skin for you. I show myself to know myself. I show for the earth from which I came. My prayers for you to do the same. I do not show the skin for you. I show myself to know myself. I show for the earth from which I came. My prayers for you to do the same. I do not show the skin for you. Show myself, know myself. Show for the earth from which I came. My prayers for you to do the same. Do not show the skin for you. Show myself, know myself. Show for the earth from which I came. My prayers for you to do the same. Read to you. Read to you. Do not show the skin for you. Show myself, show for the earth from which I came. My prayers for you to do the same.
Okay. So cool. hope you got something out of this. I'm tangled in my hair. Sorry. So, yeah. Um, a little bit more self love and just like knowing that we can radically accept ourselves today as we are, no matter what kind of like stuff people throw at us, you know. Oh, that's what you see. Okay. Okay. And let me know, let me also share with you what I hear when you say that. So yeah. Um cool. Yeah. I just really felt like I needed to say that because I've come up against it time and time again. And I also feel softer about it and less like reactive about it. Um, I know it's just, ignorance and people mean well, but, you know, ignorance needs to be clarified, right? We need to say something so we don't just live in ignorance our whole lives. So, many blessings to you. Please um, share this message because it just I I want people to know that like, hey, can we hold space for that sacred uh, first part of a pregnancy where women don't necessarily want to announce it to the world, and that first part of pregnancy that potentially isn't even there, and you're creating unnecessary anxiety for a person who doesn't want to be pregnant. So yes, all right, I think I've said my bit. I'm gonna peace out. Thank you. Bye. In string.